Hi, and welcome to Free Meditation TV. My name's Andrew, and this is Oksana.
Good evening. Today we will talk about the second center within us. It's called Swadhisthana Chakra. Swadhisthana Chakra is the center that's located at the level of the aortic plexus, and on our hands it's located on our thumbs.
We're going to talk now about the qualities of this center, the qualities when the energy rises from the base of the spine. What happens when the energy really pierces the second chakra, called Swadhisthana Chakra? So the first quality that will happen to you when your centers are activated is that the Swadhisthana Chakra will start helping you with your creativity.
Swadhisthana Chakra has projection on the left and on the right channel. On the left channel, the quality of the left Swadhisthana, we call left Swadhisthana, that we could feel on our left thumb is the pure knowledge. And what is pure knowledge, we could say? Pure knowledge is the knowledge that we could feel on our central nervous system. For example, we could feel what is cold and what is hot. But sometimes we could read about something, we hear about something, we hear the music. But is it pure or not? So when people come to Sahaja Yoga, very often they feel tingling or burning of the Swadhisthana Chakra.
It's very true, because in our life we like things that give us a little bit of a shock or a little bit of a rise or a little bit of an interest to kind of jolt us out of our normal and mundane work and life and all that. But what does pure knowledge mean? It means, what's the knowledge of what's going on inside of ourselves? What's the knowledge that's truly going to make us happy or joyous, or that's going to make us evolve further and make us a better person in general? So that would be the knowledge then of the spirit. So one thing that we say in Sahaja Yoga is to work out energy on the left Swadhisthana is we actually put our hand there and we say, Mother Kundalini, I am the spirit. I'm not this body, this mind, these thoughts that come and go, or these trends that won't be here tomorrow. I am the spirit. So when we look at the quality of the left Swadhisthana, it really boils down to is, what are the things that are going to make us more joyous person? What are some things that could even be almost timeless in our life? And thinking about the great artists and musicians that bring us into that zone, and contemplate maybe some more serious things that are above just a novelty or a trend.
And this is very good topic to find out. There are realized souls, realized artists, realized poets that we could now enjoy. And how do we know? Very simple. On our central nervous system. What it means is that when we read somebody like Shakespeare, for example, or Tolstoy, or Saint-Exupéry, when we read their books, what we do, we feel cool coming on our hands. So we feel that our Kundalini, our spirit, really enjoys that, enjoys this arts. Sometimes when we read the book, we could feel different, we could feel hot, we could feel tingly, and immediately it means that this book is not quite good for us, good for our pure knowledge.
Well, I always got a good laugh out of that, because, we're so used to things that are just a little bit shocking or give us a little bit of a rush. And you think of Shakespeare or Tolstoy or something that you're punished with in high school, and you don't really want to read the book, and you just get the summary to pass the test. But when you have this energy awakened inside and your spirit is rising, things like Shakespeare, you actually start to understand. Classical music is no longer boring. And you start to open up this new dimension of awareness where you really understand the complexities and the drama of the human condition and the motivation on how to rise above and beyond the mundane or the superficial. And that's really, if you haven't done that yet, to go back and read something that you would think would be boring, you might just find that it's actually much more exciting than you thought. It's not just for grade 10 high school anymore.
Yes, it is a very interesting journey. You could understand culture and literature, and something that you thought was before is great might give you a headache. That happened with yogis too. This is pure knowledge. That's the real knowledge. And it's not somebody tells you what's good or bad. It's something that you know from inside, because in Sahaja Yoga, you are your own guru.
That's right. And now let's talk about the other side, is that there's the pure knowledge on the left side, the left Swadhisthana. And now let's talk about the right Swadhisthana, which is the pure attention. And what does that mean?
Attention in our days is horrible. It's very wobbly. It's always outside and we cannot control it. It's here, 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 everywhere. So in meditation, in Sahaja Yoga meditation, we have to be master of our attention because it's 90% of meditation is attention. So we have to master where attention goes, watch it and put it inside. Then with that attention, enlightened attention, we know where the energy kundalini is in our body. We could find out where our center, we could feel our center, and eventually we could feel centers of others. It's all done with this enlightened, pure, sharp attention.
You'll also find too that when your attention isn't going this way and that you feel the more of the self-mastery about yourself. This evening, it's Valentine's Day, and I went to the grocery store, and I bought some flowers and things of that nature. And when I was in the line, the clerk at the grocery store didn't even realize I was in the line. I'm standing right in front of her face to face, and her attention was so scattered. Maybe Valentine's Day, maybe not, but she actually left the till and went off to the deli and ordered something from the deli, and then she came back and then she started to talk to somebody else, and I wasn't even reacting. I was just sitting there in the line, but literally I was face to face with this lady and she didn't even know I was there. And this is after like a full 2 minutes of this. So that was the extreme case, but when your attention is grounded, you're going to find that you don't at least make those kind of mistakes.
Yeah. Right, Swadhisthana is very interesting, especially if we're a futuristic person, if we always plan and think and are in the future. Sometimes we're not in reality. Now is missed. We forget sometimes even our names. We're always in the future. So that's the extreme of right Swadhisthana Chakra. And it could be very dangerous because when we overthink, overplan, the center is supposed to also, it helps, it gives energy to our liver, our kidney, our spleen. So these organs become very weak because all our being or all the center, the power of the center always caters to our thinking and planning. So we need to have balance in our life.
So now we're going to listen to Srimataji talk, where she's going to talk more about the quality of the Swadhisthana Chakra, number 2, the chakra that expresses itself on your thumbs, and that is in the lower stomach area. So enjoy the video of Srimataji.
So this center, that is what we call the Swadhisthana center, is a center that gives you your future, energy to think of your future, your planning, which gives you energy to bring forth the manifestation of the physical labor or physical exercise or physical work. This poor center has to work for one work, to convert the fat for the use of the brain. Now, if one center which has to do many other things starts doing only one work, all other things are neglected. As a result of that, you develop problems because it has to cater to your liver, to your pancreas, to your kidneys, to your spleen. And once it goes into action for one channelized work, it gets programmed for it. And then it cannot take care of these things. That's how you develop a bad liver. You develop a diabetes, kidney trouble, blood pressures. Also, you develop a very serious disease called blood cancer. Now, Sahaja Yoga can cure all these troubles. It's only physical. But it can cure even physical troubles, because if this center is brought to its normal behavior, if it is made to behave in a very normal way, you can easily cure all such diseases which come out of your overactivity, overthinking, over-imaginativeness. It's a very dangerous thing to always think about the future. For example, now we are here sitting down, we should be comfortably sitting down and talking to each other. Instead of that, we are thinking, what am I going to go do tomorrow, or what am I going to do when I go home, how am I going to cook, what am I going to eat, or how I am going to take my train. All these futuristic behaviors lead you to a very funny personality. You become so futuristic that you forget the past. I met a gentleman who forgot even his own name. He forgot the name of his father, he forgot the name of his mother, and also, to the dismay of his wife, her name. And she started crying. She said, now what to do? He's forgotten everything. Now he is in a futuristic area. He just knows the future. Then he was to be pushed back again into the center. Then gradually he started remembering. Then he told me that he's chairman of one of the councils of a big district place in India. And he said he was. He said, no, I am. I said, that's good. That's better. Now you are in that state where you say, I am. So this is what happens. And this is what's going to happen to our societies here, which is very futuristic. So to cut it down, one can try anything. You may try anything. For example, you may show pictures of the past and things like that, but that is not going to bring back the horse. It's running very fast. The only thing that can work it out is the awakening of the Kundalini. When the Kundalini awakens itself, she makes the center enlighten, and the center itself resumes its normal shape, its normal behavior, and its normal condition. Apart from that, it has got a dynamic power or manifestation that this center which looks after our attention becomes enlightened, and our attention becomes enlightened, and the attention which is enlightened becomes dynamic. In the sense now, sitting down here, you can pay attention to anyone, just pay attention. You don't have to do anything. Just pay attention to that person, and you can find out on your fingertips what's the matter with the person. Thousands of miles he may be. When Nixon was having trouble, suddenly, I don't know, I said, find out about Nixon, how is he? And they said, Ma, he's in a terrible mess. Christ has said, your hands will speak. That's the time has come. These hands, which look so simple, but they are so intricate and so intricately built that the nerve endings are so microscopic that we cannot understand how much they can tell us, how far they can go. When the awakening takes place, you start feeling the vibrations around you, the all-pervading power which you have never felt before, through these fingertips which we neglect, we misuse them, we use them for wrong things. These fingertips themselves get enlightened, and you start feeling them. That's what I said, that you have to get your awareness which is enlightened. It's the awareness which has to manifest. And that's how you start feeling them on your fingers. It's wrong here, it's wrong there. You can see where is the problem. Now all these are related to your centers. These are 5, 6 and 7. 7 on the left and 7 on the right. So this is about your emotional side, and this is about your right. About your physical and your rational, or you can say mental side. So you can make out a person how he is by just knowing whether you are getting heat from that person, whether you are getting burning from that person, whether they are getting numb, whether they are becoming heavy. And a rapport is established with the all-pervading power which informs you, get the messages. And the messages are so correct that even if you have 10 children who are realized souls, there are many children these days are born as realized souls. We don't understand children these days, but these days they are great children, and they are born today because the time has come. This is the time of judgment time. This is the time of resurrection. This is the time about which people have described in all the scriptures. So great people are taking birth. And these children, if you tie them up and their eyes and ask them about a person who is sitting facing them, what's the problem with this person? They will all raise the same finger. All of them will raise the same finger, even if their eyes are tied. Even if their backs are towards the person, they can just push back their hands and say. They are so good, children are so good. You see, when they put their fingers in the mouth, we sometimes think, I don't know, Freud, who might call a very half-baked person, he didn't know much about God and life and nothing at all. He was very little bit he knew. He says that this has something to God, sex. He was nothing but a sex point, and he wants everybody to be a sex point, not a human being. So this fellow, whatever he may say, but the truth is that it is nothing to do with sex. It is that they feel the heat on their fingers. They actually feel it. And that's how they put it in the mouth. The little children I've seen. We have one here who has come from England, from London. There's another one who is from here somewhere. And all of these, if you ask them, they will immediately tell, where is the catch? Which chakra is catching? Now, children, you cannot be fooled. They all tell you the same thing, that this is what is happening. So your awareness is enlightened, and your hands, which have got the sympathetic endings here, tell you. We can say that now, in our central nervous system, we can feel about others and about ourselves.
Now let's meditate together. With your right hand, just let's raise our kundalini. Just do it once. And try to feel cool breeze coming from the top of your head. Now enjoy your meditation. See you back.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a nice meditation like us here, Roxanne and I. Was there any questions? It's now our time where we can take some questions.
Yes, we have a few questions. Question number 1. I read a lot of books and more after beginning meditation. I don't feel anything while reading the books or listening to my music. Should I do something first before I start reading?
You could try to raise your kundalini, like what we do in the class all the time. Just before you do something, you just raise your kundalini. You could do it 3 times, 7 times. But also, it will come spontaneously. If you have that in your attention, that you want to check what are vibrations of the book, eventually they will come.
In terms of music, essentially you have to see what is the music doing for you. Is it something that is going to make you feel better and inspired and you feel vibration? Or is it something just to get a relief, like you worked hard all day and you just want to hear something that just distracts you? And then you can slowly discern in terms of music what is working for you and working on your spirit, and something that has a timeless quality and a joyous quality, and something that's just to take the pressure off and have a distraction.
Yeah. Sometimes it's so simple as when you read the book or listen to some music and you could get headache, and you close the book and the headache gone. So that's one of the indication of Kundalini telling you that's probably not a good book.
Let's have another question.
Sometimes I interact with people that seem off-world or not really thinking.
Off-world.
Is this
Time travel. Space.
Is this the state that I am striving for? But it doesn't seem to be productive.
Well, that's a very interesting question.
Definitely not. You want to be in the now, in reality. You don't want to be in the future or in the past, and to feel vibrations, because vibrations are what now. So when you're on your, we call it central channel, then you are more aware than usual. You have all your senses with you. You could think when you like. You could be quiet. In your mind is quiet. There are no background noise in your mind, but you want to be very aware.
The main thing about meditation is that, if we believe there's 3 states, the present, past, and the future, we want to enjoy the present moment. So sometimes, I've heard things in my life that one person said they traveled back in time and saw who they were in the Middle Ages and things of this nature, but I'm a very practical person. I just didn't know how that would be very useful, for my life and what's happening at this moment right now. So I think with meditation is we can either think about the past and have thoughts, reminiscences, think about what happened. It can be futuristic, or we can just try to be in the present, and then our thoughts are just not that important whatsoever, and I think a lot of us on the show are reaching for mental silence, and that's what happens with mental silence, is that you have to be in the present moment. You can't get too excited about something that looks kind of cool or from space, or someone that has this air about them of new aginess or things of that nature. So hope that helped.
Yeah, to have vibratory awareness is in itself, it's something amazing. Just think about it. For the first time, you actually feel your subtle system, and you might be able to feel other people's subtle system. So it's great. And this is all built in with every one of us.
Well, the vibrations themselves, when you start to feel them, can be really special, and you really enjoy just that feeling when you're grounded in the present moment and you're feeling vibration. And I'll bring it back to the beginning of the episode. We were talking about sometimes, Oksana mentioned Shakespeare, and I remember oh, that's something you do to get a mark in school. Or classical music, that's something you have to study for a couple of years to get a mark in school. It seems like it's a chore to understand it, but you start to really enjoy it on the vibration level that you never thought you're going to enjoy those things before.
And you might be able to know in our times there are many people who are realized, and it's fun to find out. Do we have other questions?
Yes, there's a lot of discussion about mental silence and not thinking. It almost seems like thinking is a bad thing. However, I need to think to drive, to solve problems, so I'm a little confused on this subject.
We have to think. The idea of the silence is that we become master of ourselves. So when we need to solve a problem, then we think. But sometimes this thought process is just going on and on and on, and it could be quite, oh, I forgot something, I forgot something, I forgot something. So it's beyond our control. So that's the thing. When you have one of the quality of Swadhisthana Chakra is pure attention. So you need to focus your attention, then your thought becomes very sharp and very powerful. You thought, and then you go back into the present. That's how I would try to explain.
I'm not going to add anything to that. That was perfect.
Another question?
Yes, one last question. How will meditation help me become more creative?
That's a very good question. It spontaneously, because Swadhisthana Center, the center that we're talking about, its innate quality is creativity. So when the center is enlightened, we would become creative spontaneously. You don't have to do something special, but whatever you do, you could cook, you could draw, you could play music, it will become, because it's an innate quality of the center.
I'm going to add the desire component to that, is that we can have desires, pure desires, and these desires start to manifest as something special. If you look at the great artists of the past, like Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo, let's go with those for examples. They had a desire to be creative. They had to work so hard. So what their special ability was is through their natural talent and genius, and not everyone is going to be like them, obviously. There's something that separated them from ordinary people. But look at how hard they worked. They worked so hard, but then they were able to take it to the next level and be creative. So what happens when you hit that creative point is that ability to kind of separate the work and the thought, and I'm doing this or I'm doing that, and is this going to work out? And the ability just to do something without actually really thinking, but you're doing something, you're being creative, but you have that whole base of knowledge behind you. So like, let's look at great classical musicians, is that they studied for years, they learned the entire format of music making, and they learned from great teachers, but then they were able to just separate that, be spontaneous, and let all their knowledge flower out. And that's through being in the present moment, which we call being Sahaj, and being able to utilize the energy of the Swadhisthana Chakra. So it's a very present moment kind of thing, something that happens in real time.
Okay, we have no more questions for today, and we hope to see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye everyone. Happy Valentine's Day.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you have any questions whatsoever or suggestions, please send us an email. We'll be more than happy to get back to you.